And with that, welcome everybody once again. Here we are back for season number 2. I hope all of you are excited, boys and girls. We are out here ready for our first game of the day. Well, at least at the first game that we're going to see, because already I think 4 or 5 teams have already played their games today. It started officially today, so the stream is ready. As always, boys, make sure to follow us everywhere. We know you want to see all the updates you can get. So, of course, first check out our Challenger mode, and then check out our Twitch, our Mixer, YouTube, and, of course, our social medias, as you can see on the bottom of your screen. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever you want. Even join our Discord community. We are always present just for you. And today I'm joined by very, very lovely people. We haven't heard them in a long time, but they are finally back in business. It is Dermot and Circex. Welcome, buddies.
Hello.
Hello indeed.
Hey,
so yeah, I think we should just jump right away into the champion selection, not let them wait any longer. What do you guys say? Shall we do that?
I think that sounds like a plan, right?
Start this year off with a bang, so.
Yeah, so surprise, surprise, as you can see on your screen, you got today very exciting game coming up. It's going to be Roflan Esports versus LYVT, game number 1. And with that being said, they started the champion selection. Let's go over and see what they do, and I will let you guys in the very good comfort of Dermot and Circex.
Alright, Morgana ban coming out first. Morgana's actually been played quite a bit. We've seen her in pretty much every single meta. But do you really think that she's first ban material?
Maybe Morgana can be, how do you say it? You can wait with banning her in the hope that your enemy team bans her first, but then again, she's such a support with a lot of pressure, with the black shield, just countering kind of every ability or every form of all-in that the enemy can pick. So, yeah. You do want to get rid of her, in a way.
Yeah, I think that stun lasts way too long. On top of that, we have Akali, Elise, and Cassiopeia, all, I would say, late game champions, and we have been seeing in the LEC, for those of you who have been keeping up with it, that late game champions tend to be winning. I think they have the highest win rate in comparison to early game champions.
It's probably because early game champions can be punished quite easily if they make one mistake after having a kind of flawless early game.
Especially with the new changes to the jungle. Of course, catch-up XP has been taken out of the game. So even for champions that farm quite well, it's not unheard of now to be a couple of levels behind. Senna locked in first. Towards the late game, again, she's going to be quite a monster with how much range that she can pick up. But she can be flexed into 4 roles, I believe. Top, mid, ADC, and support.
Yeah, she's mostly a late game scaling monster with the Manamune and Presence of Mind combination. Not necessarily ran on the support pick, but still, yeah, the basic thing to go on top, mid, and the ADC, of course.
Ornn and yes, Braum coming out next. We spoke about this a little while ago. I was talking about Ornn. He's had quite a bang in the LEC, and I don't know, picked 9 times out of 10 and only has a 20% win rate. Hopefully this team can prove us wrong. They can prove us that the LEC teams have been playing this champion incorrectly. I definitely hope so.
Yeah, no, same thing. And then with the Braum pick coming out, Braum at the moment a really strong support. He got some love from Riot, which is really nice to see with the quality of life changes he got a couple of patches ago. And he's seen his fair share of play in the LEC as well, as just a counter pick to a couple of supports and ADCs, just to keep your ADC safe. So it's really nice to see him back here on the proving grounds.
MF, Tom, Kench, and Mordekaiser now picked. Mordekaiser for the top lane. Again, he's somebody else who's been picked quite a lot recently. Just the ult being able to pick out anybody out of a fight and say either you're dead or you're not going to be able to participate is really strong, just by hitting a single button. I think I have a bit of a bone to pick with this guy too. I don't know if you've seen the meme, but Mordekaiser was actually able to take out a 3-item Draven at level 18 with just Ninja Tabai. Do you think that needs a nerf? Or?
Well, like in a way, you'd say that he probably needs a nerf. He's been like one of the top tier top laners for a while right now, and the only thing that Riot has changed for him is I think his passive duration and the movement speed, which is not necessarily the thing that makes him OP/broken, but yeah, it's Riot, man. It takes some time for them to realize what is actually the problem with the champion, and then hopefully they'll instantly take it out on the right parts.
Of course, we'll let them take their time. Of course, they do need that. Final
They need to gather
champions.
more statistics, of course, before they can do something like that.
Of course. Galio. Galio's finally made a comeback in Season 10, I think. I think in Season 9 he was very much neglected, especially with the ton of nerfs that he's been having when going to be seeing him in the mid lane, it seems. I mean, I would expect to see a Brom in the mid lane unless we're really trolling in these diamond/challenger games. Tom Kench and Rek'Sai picked on the other side as well. Rek'Sai versus Jarvan. We have two early game champions, despite talking about the late game. So how do you think this is going to work out?
So looking at these team comps on the right side, we're seeing probably one of the more standard protect the AD carry comps. Misfortune right now, really strong champion on the bot lane. She has a really dominant early game and can snowball it with the crit items into a really nice team fighting combination. And if you combine it with like a Galio or Jarvan who can group people up into bunches that can easily be picked off by her ultimate, and then combine it with Ornn and Braum who provide her more stats and more peel. It can work, but then again, on the other side, we're seeing champions like Syndra, Mordekaiser, and Senna who can make it a real hard time for you to keep that ADC alive in this combination. So if you were to ask me, it's really how you say it, you're going to be looking at how is the early game going, and if the early game doesn't go well enough for this Misfortune, she's her team is going to have a hard time against Senna, Syndra, and Mordekaiser.
Well, we'll see as soon as we get into the game. 3 teleports have also come out. I just realized Mordekaiser into Jarvan being an early game ganking jungler. I can't recall the number of times I, as a jungler myself, have ganked a Mordekaiser and ended up being ganked myself just because of his ult. It's a massive field bad.
Yeah, like the issue with that is that you really have to pressure and gank him pre-6, because the moment you try to do it at level 6, you just explain what's going to happen. Yeah. That's mostly how this game is probably going to look like, or like what's going to look like as well. Trying to continue on the thing with Galio, you just said that he didn't really have a place in the last meta. I think that last meta, it was really important to show that your mid laners, mostly in LEC and in Worlds, had some form of solo carry potential. So that's why champions like Akali, Aurelia, Ryze, Cassio were so dominant in that meta. And Galio is not necessarily a solo carrying champion, but he's more supportive, trying to help you peel for your ADC, trying to set up a combination with a Jarvan in this scenario. But his own damage can be a lot early game when it comes to laning phase. But after that, you probably want to be more supportive in these kind of compositions. That's why you probably don't see him a lot in pro play, but like in these smaller tournaments, when you have an ADC who you have like all the trust in the world in him that he's going to be carrying the game, a Galio can be a really niche pickup when you're playing the mid laner for a player like him.
I will use this 30 seconds left before the game is about to start and you guys get to see our teams rumble on the Rift. Just a quick explanation, who's connecting esports, what is the TG League, what is all of this, for those of you who are new here. Of course, we are not the first time running this business or this tournament. This is a recreation, I would say, of what we used to do when we used to do big tournaments with over 1,000 people, over 30 teams locked in every division. So basically what we are aiming to do is compete at the highest level possible, as well as the lowest level. So we are here for casual players as well as people that look to go pro. We offer a variety of different games, not just League of Legends, but League of Legends is right now our main focus when it comes to tournaments and streams. The next thing that we are looking forward to is to, for example, give you a stepping stone into the professional scene. If you are like a high master or high diamond player that is looking to go competitive, we offer that to our national teams. We have a lot of national teams, like a German team, like a Dutch team, and so on. We also got some Call of Duty Fortnite team coming soon. people that play Sea of Thieves, we do in-houses, we do a lot of community events, Rainbow Six team, PUBG team. So we got everything here. We are just waiting for you to join us on our journey, and we will hopefully be able to aim at giving you everything you are needing in the future. If you're looking to make a career in esports, we want to provide you with that. Now, the loading screen is going on right now, so we are going to jump quickly into the game in a few seconds. And with that being said, don't forget to leave a like on the stream. Every follow, sorry, not to like, a follow. Every follow helps us, of course, to grow on our way to partner. We're already affiliate. As soon as we are partner, we'll be able to give you a better viewing experiences as well.
I have to say, by the way, just following off of that really quickly, it's coming towards the end of January, and just not even for League of Legends, for the esports scene as a whole, we've grown so much in the past year, right? We're seeing a number of partnerships, again, for those of you who aren't following up. We're seeing people like G2 partnering up with KFC, to put the funniest one out there. We can laugh that off, first of all. But also things like Gucci. We're seeing the financial sectors like banks actually start to come into this space now, because they're realizing that there is money to be made. So connecting esports really should be a beacon for you guys that want to try and pursue that kind of career. Maybe if you don't want to be a player, even try casting. Come and see what the different careers have for you.
I do like that I can finally start a Louis Vuitton collection online.
That you can find a what, sorry?
That I can finally start a Louis Vuitton collection online by just getting all the Prestige Edition skins for this year.
Oh gosh, yeah.
So with that, we're finally into game number 1.
Yes. Now, I want to talk about what's going to be happening within the first, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes. Of course, we're seeing the red side go for a sneaky invader, or are they just looking for a ward? Yep, just looking for a ward, because Jarvan is probably going to be pathing down towards the bot lane and start getting the drakes. We're seeing the ADC take the teleport rune, meaning that she's most likely going to be looking to put pressure in the top lane. And maybe they'll be prioritizing heralds. What do you think? Are drakes better than heralds, or is it vice versa?
Drakes are still stronger than Herald. Like, I know that they have given Shelly some love by nerfing her a little bit and making it easier to pick her up for junglers, even when they're solo. But even so, like, the impact of the Dragon Soul later in the game is just so much. Also, maybe a little bit depending on the Dragon Soul, but most of the Dragon Souls are such a game changer for a team if they're barely winning, just swifting or like changing the tides into guaranteeing their victory. Or if it's the other way around, when you were behind the early game and you managed to pick up the Dragon Soul by constantly stealing the Drakes away, or whatever other plan you had, it can help you in swing the game back into your favor again. With Rift Herald, the first one is in the first place weaker than the second one, and it can give you some early tower plating. That's about every form of impact it will have on the game. Just some extra gold for mostly your solo laners.
Which Drake do you think is the most valuable in the early game? Because of course we're starting to realize that maybe the first 2 Drakes aren't as important if you can't get them. It's normally fine to leave the first 2 Drakes so long as you get the rest, and then maybe you can contest something on the other side of the map. So out of the 4 Drakes, which one would you feel like you have to prioritize in the early game, if there is one?
I think it's once again a bit dependent on what your team composition is, but a nice Ocean Drake just to get some sustain in the lanes whenever you need it. Or sometimes Infernal Drakes is really nice when you have kind of an even lane, but you want to push the damage and try to make it go into your favor.
Jarvan lurking around the back, the wave's pushing back. Will he get it? They might force a flash here. The Ignite, is it going to kill him?
Doesn't look like it. And in the meantime, on the top lane, we're seeing a gank from Triple Pan Kitty.
Oh no! Is Mordekaiser going to die to the top? 1 for 1 in the top lane, but nothing in the bot lane. That was, I have to say, I'm impressed. We're starting to see a couple of explosions here and there around the map. Of course, once Jarvan ganks one side of the lane, Rek'Sai's in perfect position to start looking for something immediately on the other side. And fortunately, his patience has paid off with that first kill of the game.
Yeah, he was just waiting on the information. Where is Jarvan going to pop up first? And the moment he noticed Jarvan, he instantly went in on the top lane because he knew it wouldn't go contested. And with that, he picks up first blood for his team, and even gives it to the Mordekaiser, which is going to be one of those late game scaling champions that can mean a lot in team fights with the combination of his passive Q and ultimate. And it
Just
looks
having
like
the-
Triple Pen Kitty is once again in position for the top lane, but he's going to get spotted out.
Is he going to spam laugh it? Is Ornn going to spam laugh? Come on, you got to do it. Just like we've seen in the LEC.
You don't BM
Damn
in these
it, dude.
tournaments, do you?
I totally would. Just a spam laugh here and there, just some friendly fun. Come on, guys.
I'd probably do it if I were to play Set, because Set has the setup spam. That's a funny one to
Oh
do.
yeah. I think the first time I played against the set, actually, I saw him doing push-ups. That was pretty funny. Props to Riot there, actually. First backs were coming out from a couple of these guys. Jarvan bought a, if I remember the name, Skirmisher's Saber. But
Yes.
normally we see people get the Coalfield's Hammer, I think it's called. Why do you think he's gone for this instead? Shouldn't the other one be a little bit stronger?
Yeah, just a little bit more dueling potential whenever he's going to get a sudden 1v1 against Triple Pen Kitty, because sometimes you don't have the vision, you have to face check into River or maybe in the enemy jungle just to get
Mordekaiser
some vision.
hits level 5 and immediately starts going in on the Ornn, but I don't think he's going to be able to kill him. Ornn's just quite tanky really early with a Ruby Crystal and a Doran Shield to go off. That's
only the start. It's
roughly
that's
250.
where like hell is going to start for Mordekaiser against an Ornn.
Doesn't Ornn come from hell? Isn't he like a hellish thing, or does he just live in a cave?
He's the Forge God, and his brother is Volibear, but
Oh, he's a god?
he's from Freljord.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I need to be keeping up on my lore, guys.
League of Lore. Who gives? Like, I really liked when they released the animation from Warriors, that a lot of pro players were like, why is Vi in this video? Vi hasn't seen competitive play since 2014. And then I'm like, well, lore-wise, it's such a good video.
Oh yes, Ornn's won this trade. A quick trade anyway. Mordekaiser
but,
hits level 6.
Yeah, that's a really important thing to notice, because if BMDB actually goes in
Jarvan!
here, I think it's too late, because he got that smite and he didn't have W.
That is a flashless Mordekaiser with a pull that has a 24-second cooldown, for those of you guys who don't know. That's actually a really important thing to point out, actually. For those of you guys who are struggling in a Mordekaiser, the X, Y, or Z, level 1, his pull has a 24-second cooldown, so you need to be playing around that, which is exactly what Zichi has been doing in order to be winning these quick trades.
So the MTB is looking for a gank on the mid lane, but it's going to get spotted out by a ward, nichely placed there by Cameron.
Going to be sneaking
yeah.
the first dragon.
With that information of the MTB being on the top lane, Triple Pen Kitty just easily secures that Drake for his team.
Yes,
No, that he
Rex,
won't
I
get
have the
contested.
big brain again. He's playing the more patient matchup in the sense that he's waiting for Jarvan to do what he has to and trusting that both his lanes are warding up well enough to protect themselves, which they seem to be. I mean, Jarvan hasn't been getting too much impact off of the map other than the first gank. So it's working out pretty well.
Yeah, true, but on the other side, I feel like Jarvan in the late game most of the time will be more of a supportive jungler towards his team, whilst Rek'Sai is one of those champions who really needs to pressure out the early game, because late game you'll just fall off like a brick. You'll become a meat shield like Jarvan, but a bit less CC, and the most mechanical outplay you can make with Rek'Sai is flash knockup.
Oh, Ornn! I think he used his unstoppable a little bit too early. Oh no, he's got level 6! Deox is going to come out and it's going to be really close. Is he going to chase? No, he's not. Unfortunately, Mordekaiser is, as you would say, hell. But he does hit level 7, a heal comes back, and there is a possible gank in the top lane. No, he sees it. But it doesn't look like he's going to be able to get away. That is a...
No. Oh!
Oh my goodness!
Really ham, and with that percentage health missing HP execute damage, he's going to be securing the kill on Ziggy, who did actually a really nice job by not getting knocked up because of your W making you unstoppable for like a split second. But it just wasn't enough to survive it.
Not
Yeah.
too shabby at all. Galio's hiding around. Does he realize that Mordekaiser sees him? I guess it doesn't matter because Mord has his ult. He's going to be able to steal a lot of those stats away. He can't really do anything. He doesn't have a Quicksilver Sash. It might be Galio going down this time. That healing is way too much. That is another flash of 5-minute cooldown, and Mordekaiser takes the 5th kill of the game.
Yeah, and with this unsuccessful roam, Lursman is going to damage himself even more. Looking at Cameron, just getting free farm, free tower plating. That's a huge advantage from him against Lurs. Just getting it for free because of one misplay.
Just a little bit smacking in the mid and bot lane, nothing too furious going out as we did see in the other game. First backs coming off. MF did manage to get herself a BF. Wait, did Rek'Sai just get the...
Yep. That's Herald gone.
I really like this guy's mindset. I mean, like, he's patient when he has to be, but at the same time, he's definitely not afraid to take the initiative.
Well, at the same time, I feel like his map awareness, looking where the MTB is most of the time. I think that if you're going to be watching the replay, every time he starts an objective, it's like 2 seconds after Jarvan walks over a ward somewhere on the other side of the map, which just shows some really nice map awareness.
Something in the mid lane if we point our eyes over there.
Welcome to the League of Mordekaiser. Oh. Rylai's
Wait, what is
Crystal
his
Scepter, and you're not running away from him.
Weren't you saying something about Ornn having to be tanky, by the way?
Yeah, that's really hard to do when you're going to be prioritizing Balmy Cinder for wave clear instead of instantly rushing that adaptive helmet against the Mordekaiser.
Guess we'll just have to wait for it, but Ornn is playing pretty patiently this game, as we have been seeing. He hasn't used a stopwatch yet, though. That's definitely going to come in handy as the game progresses. And Mordekaiser has actually gotten a Rylai... Nope, didn't think anything was going on. As I was saying, he did manage to get himself a Scepter, 1820 gold. Do you think that's better than the mask? Abyssal Mask? Not Abyssal Mask, what's it called?
Liandry's.
That's
well, I think Liandry's on its own is a really strong item on Mordekaiser. But Rylai's with the DPS potential, making it easier to stick to your enemy champion and making it harder for them to run away, of course, is a better pickup.
Oh, Rek'Sai gank in the top lane, the pull, and he goes golden. Are they going to follow up? I don't think he has to. Senna.
Kill secured,
Oh
man.
yeah, Senna's in the game. Senna feels like a Karthus 2.0. You know when you feel like everything's going good and then you just see yourself light up, but you can't really do anything. You just stare at yourself as you're about to die.
Yeah, not fair enough. Even though Senna still requires a form of skill in a way. Oh, really nice to catch Devour there.
Something I kind of debate with myself, but he doesn't realize that's going to be the flag and drag and the Galio ult coming in. It does look like it's going to be a... Oh, wait, no, that's an amazing turnaround. Ornn does manage to use a teleport and come down to the bot side river. Looks like it's going to be a 2-for-2 for the red lane. LYVT. Oh, wait, no, never mind.
Yeah.
Mordekaiser's been pinched, but no, his ult is going to come in clutch. What the hell was that?
That's an awful lot of damage coming out from the Mordekaiser, because just like Karthus, when you only hit a single target with that Q, it's just going to smack you up even harder. And Cameron actually getting executed.
There was a path that you could go around, but I mean, never mind.
It's kind of worth it in its own way. So, we were talking about this Rylai's Crystal Scepter version of the Mordekaiser.
Yes.
So it's making him it easier for him in these kind of fights to stick to enemy champions like Misfortune and Braum in this occasion. But you can opt to go for just the first part of Liandry's, because it still gives you the damage amplification in fights that goes on to like 10 seconds. But Rylai's is just something you want to rush either way, if you want to skip the mask or not in the early game. It's just, you don't really want to finish Liandry's too early without having your having your Rylai's. I'm saying that correctly. Yeah.
It's going to be a little bit more unlikely for Galio to be solo killing Syndra, so he decides to take a proto belt first. That's going to allow him to clear the first wave and then be able to rotate pretty much where he wants without having to use his ult the entire time. 13-minute mark hits, and it looks like Jarvan might be starting to fall off a little bit. We haven't seen him do a great deal in a little while other than that last team fight, so he decides to take a Cinderhulk instead of a Warriors. Looks like we're going to be having 3 tanks this game, but we're going to be having 5 AD champions.
Yeah, well, like I already said that Jarvan, when it comes to utility, when Triple Pen is trying to...
Oh, Rek'Sai!
Oh.
That Ox isn't going to save you, my dude. That's going to be, I think, the 3rd gank on the top lane. As we were saying, honestly, it looks like they're going to be really looking for those Rift Heralds instead of the... Wait, they've got 2 Drakes, never mind.
They've got everything. They have every single objective they need this far, because Triple Pen is just paying so much close attention to all the wards on the map, exactly trying to plan out where the MTB is going to walk. And with that, he has been able to secure...
All 3 players in the bot lane, and it's going to be the firing rounds out of... Oh my goodness, how did that go so badly? They really nearly turned it around underneath that.
Yeah, they did. But the combination of the Tomken's Devour saving Stolen Name there, making him survive a little bit longer, actually getting the first kill on the tower. Meanwhile, Triple Pen, Kitty and John Carlton Cage are just running it down the top lane, which is obviously the right call to make when you kinda won the 4v2 dive on the bot lane.
By the way, Smoochieman, I see you in the chat saying Yumi top, by the way, is bad. No Yumi top in my tournaments. Anyway, there's a fight going on in the top lane. Sorry about that. Rek'Sai is going to fall. It looks like Mordekaiser did use his ult, and he's going to be able to 2v3, perhaps? I think he can still turn this around if he plays this properly. No, he doesn't.
Depends on his W cooldown.
Unfortunately, his W cooldown was not up, so a good attempt at a pull. I think he would have actually gotten it if he managed to hit it.
Well, they just got like almost 2 top towers for free in that single push, and now they can just say, well, we took a fast recall. Stolen Name taking 2 tower shots there, trying to do some chip damage to the MTB. And now it looks like DSQ and Lazy Dog are on their way to collapse on this mid lane with the help from a teleport from Lursman.
That's way...
But MTB is actually going yeah.
MTB a little bit too early.
Play there.
I questioned that, but it's okay. It looks like his team's gonna be able to get back a 1-for-1. That's gonna be
not true, but like, is it worth to trade your jungler for support?
No, but it's
not having smite pressure once again. Second Rift Herald already reached.
Yeah.
So
you've already given up about 3
Kitty can kinda do the same thing that he's been doing like the entirety of the game, which is sneak this one out. And he, like, at the same time, in the top side of the map, you have John Carlton Cage, who is just so far ahead of everyone at this point. 432, 122 CS. Already got his Liandry's and Ryla's Crystal Scepter completed. He's going to be a pain to deal with, mostly for Diaz, because he's the main carry in this composition.
Red team could actually take this Herald. Oh no! Looks like there's going to be a fight in the top side. It's going to be a 2-on-4, no, 3-on-4. Center ult coming in clutch. Are they going to be able to get the Braum? No, it doesn't look like it. Mordekaiser doesn't have his ult. It's up on 1 second. Oh my, this Braum is like the luckiest guy. He should have died like 5 or 6 times in this game. And he always gets out with 10% HP, but it looks like they're going to be continuing to chase.
Yeah.
That is going to be a 1-for-1, both top laners.
It doesn't look like Triple Pen Kitty is done with it quite yet. He is setting a
oh my god, the flash!
Look at that damage.
That's going to be a 1v2! Is he going to do it? No, Tom Kench being the support that we love to see. Doesn't matter though, 3-on-3, another one's going to be falling down. That's going to be a 1-for-2 for the red side. Oh, Galio ult coming in again. That's going to be a 2-for-2 this time. They are relentless. Everything is blowing up on the map. Doesn't look like they're going to be getting anything else though. Everything's happening at once. This is how we know I'm a terrible driver. Like I just can't look at more than one thing.
It doesn't matter, man, because right now a kind of a big wave is crashing on this top tower. You're in the
Orb could be turning this around. That's going to be a knock up into a flag and drag. 2 players have been taken down under the tower. Britain goes golden, and it looks like the Mordekaiser is going to be falling down again with his ult. It wouldn't.
I would have said that they probably should have taken the tower, but even so, yeah.
They
They didn't
probably
take the
should have.
tower quite yet, because most of the efforts were focused on the team fight. And right now, pings are being made for the third dragon of the game, because if every dragon is going to be falling into the hands of Triple Pen Kitty, then that'd be such bad news for the side of yeah.
Roflan Esports. Well, Roflan Esports is unable to get the topside tower.
LYVT. That's what I want to see, or
CELYVT is
LYVT.
going to. Sorry?
Yeah, LYVT it's called, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Liv, that's it.
Gotta get used to
Speaking
it.
of whom, they're going to be
They're
taking
actually going to be picking it up, yeah.
They actually got one, dude.
They did it, but like,
Got
then
one.
again, in a way, it is kind of a strat to leave the first 2 dragons to the enemy team, so you can mega stack 1 dragon. But when you're going to be executing that that strat, you probably want to get some pressure on Rift Herald when the enemy team is taking the first 2 drakes, which didn't happen in this scenario. So that's maybe a little bit of a feel sad, man. But still, stacking a Cloud Dragon in a Misfortune comp is always a good thing to have.
Of course, and you will notice that the blue team has actually summoned the Herald into the mid lane. It looks like they're going to be running it down mid this time. Everybody has their ults up, but the only... Oh, it looks like we're going to be skirmishing a little bit in the bot side. It doesn't look like Ornn's become too tanky, though. One combo being able to take down half of Ornn's HP, and Mordekaiser hasn't even taken off his magic shred yet.
Well, like, a surprising thing to see is that most of the time when playing against certain champions, you want to switch up your itemization on Ornn.
Flag and drag into a Rommel. There's no way that Tahm Kench lives this time, but it looks like they're going to be able to turn it around again.
And Tahm Kench lives.
She got it. Oh, another flag and drag. Fortunately, they were able to do a 1-for-1, I believe. Yes, the mid laner on blue side, the jungler on red side. No, 2v1, 2-for-1. And the...
Triple Pen Kitty and John Cole and Kate are just not done yet.
It looks like they're not done yet, but this might actually be a mistake. This might be a mistake. Yes. No, it wasn't a mistake. It's going to be a 1-for-1 again. They're fighting inside the red side jungle. And it looks like the entire red team is going to be losing their lives this time. Did that...
So, Senna, with the Glacial Augment, with the Mirror Mana already completed, just dealing so much damage to the enemy team there. And, yeah, that was kind of the team fight that just happened. It looked like it was a bit of a shabby engage, going for the Tahm Kench and finally managing to kill Kamen, but that was everything they took out of it.
We've just gone past the 20-minute mark, and we have a 39k gold lead on the blue side versus a 34k gold lead. So it looks like the blue team's winning in that sense. And of course, this is the TJ Diamond Season 2 League. I think what really makes or breaks really good players is how much of a gold lead that they have. And even if it's minute, they're able to exacerbate that lead in the greatest way.
Yeah, and like to see that the team composition with the so-called scaling comp having a gold advantage already against the team that is playing protect the early game carry called Misfortune, or maybe let's just keep it on early to mid carry. That's a really huge thing in their favor they're having already. So I was talking about the Ornn itemization before, still rushing the Abyssal Mask. I think Adaptive Helmet would have meant so much more to him when the main threats coming out from the side of Roflan, being the Mordekaiser with the consistent damage from his passive, the auto attacks from Senna of course, and Kamen with his orbs.
Yeah.
You probably could give an argument that Adaptive Helmet is the better item in this scenario over Abyssal Mask. It's just that the combination of Abyssal Mask and Sunfire Cape is just so much better in general, but maybe in this scenario you could have opted for something else just because the situation was asking for it.
I think the only bit of value that I see out of that Abyssal Mask right now, not to be a hater, is the healing that you get off of spending mana. Of course, the unique aura that Inferno Mask has is being able to deal an extra 15% more magic damage to any opponents. However, it is an Ornn a tank with another 2 tanks on his team, and everybody is building AD, so you're not getting the full value out of the item. Maybe you're right.
Normally it does work with Sunfire, but he's probably going to complete that item very soon because he does have the components for it. It's just a little bit of gold necessary to upgrade it. But I think the combination of Balmy Cinder and Abyssal Mask is a bit underwhelming this far into the game.
By the way, you will catch on that most of the players have taken a Farsight alteration if they haven't switched to a Oracle lens. You might be wondering why. That's because the support items already give you about 4 wards, meaning that everyone else technically does not need a yellow trinket. It's a lot nicer to be able to ward, the objectives if you're not there. It saves you a little bit more.
It's a lot nicer not having to face check every single bush with a yellow ward and just
Definitely.
not falling for a trap by just being able to place a blue ward. And then when you're ahead, it's probably even better to take something else. Take over the team fight, my friend.
The Drake's gonna go down, and it looks like we're gonna have another fight in the bot lane. And Lazy Dog, you are pushing up a little bit too far. That's gonna be the support going down on the red team. Bullet time coming out from the... Wait, Orn died? He was still there. Oh no, everything's going so badly with the CE LYVT. This might be going towards the Nexus. This could be game 1 for blue team. That is unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. I mean, how did they manage to do that so quickly? I mean, the blue team has 3 Drakes short, and they got a little bit extra gold short. Shouldn't the red side have a little bit more CC to be able to take care of themselves?
Well, when you have like a huge metal threat called Mordekaiser running onto your backline and you have to peel everything away from him, whilst Stolen and Kamen are just dealing the damage to the to your potential frontline, which is an Ornn with semi-completed items, that's a big yikes, and you probably don't want to take those fights. And then again, they also had the bad luck that Triple Pen Kitty came in there for the steal and managed to do it. So that's also it's not really going in their favor this game. But who knows? Comebacks can be a small part.
Shoutouts to Semen, by the way. He got pretty much perfect CS, if you didn't realize, by the 10-minute mark, and he has almost perfect CS by the 25-minute mark as well. You must really have been practicing, so props. I think we should be watching that next game to see just how Syndra manages to get that perfect, because I definitely struggled to do that on Syndra.
It probably has to do a lot with mana management and the combination of Lursman with the failed gank opportunity on top lane, which gave her free time on the mid lane for about a minute and a half, which can be a lot in the early game.
It can. Blue side, that will be Roflan Esports warding up, but no, a lot of those wards are going to be taken up defensively by CELYVT. I wish there was a faster way to say that team name, but never mind. Looks like blue team's going to continue being persistent in warding as they set up for the Baron. This could be the make or break fight for the red team, deciding whether they win or lose. Won't be too bad for Roflan Esports, though. I don't think the red team would be able to do a great deal of damage if they were to steal this away.
Well, the only thing that Roflan has to do here is stop recalls, because Kamen is on the split push on bot lane, and he has the teleport ready in case there is a fight breaking out around the Baron. So there's not really that much of pressure play on the side of Roflan when LYVT is trying to act like they're taking Baron, but they're not actually doing it.
Oh, I hate being baited like that in solo queue. I think it took me about 2 months to learn not to step into the Baron pit, because...
Well, you just gave yourself a really big tip by saying that people should use the blue trinket, because the scrying, the far side alteration can help you a lot with not having to face check.
Dude, the MTB, that's a little bit toxic, don't you think? You stopped his back twice. And now it looks like Tom Kent is in a bit of a pickle, because 4 of his team members are here ready to contest the Baron. I mean, they can't really leave it, otherwise the red team might sneak it away. might not matter though. I mean, Rek'Sai is coming back, and it looks like they want to start it.
Yeah, so Triple Pancake needs to be here soon, because if a fight breaks out when he's not here, his team might have a little bit of an issue, because even though he is playing Rek'Sai, and right now he's the equivalent of just being a meat shield, his team still needs him to be that meat shield. Stolen Name can potentially melt under a Misfortune ultimate, and if it can't be cancelled by the Rek'Sai knockup, you're going to be in a pickle there, starting a team fight. But it looks like they're engaging on this Baron.
Yes, blue team are starting the Baron, and the red team know it. Jarvan just stopped his back. It looks like they might have a plan to do this. Are they going to commit? No one's really losing health off of this Baron, although it is shredding their magical protections, but no 5 physical damaging champions on the red team. It's not going to matter too much. Just trying to draw them in though, nothing too serious happening.
Yeah, so they just got forced off the Baron, and for now we're seeing some NAA ramp. Always nice to see. Dragon also respawning at the same time, and this is also a huge opportunity, of course, for Roflan to try and pick up this Wind Dragon Soul.
Yes, it doesn't look like red team is going to be able to contest it, but they might have to at the same time. This once again could make or break the game.
I was thinking about John Carlton Cage picking up the Cloud Dragon Soul with his team, ulting someone, and just immediately just running into them because you get the huge burst of movement speed when casting. It's like, you cannot escape my passive because I have both Rylai's and this huge burst of movement speed.
Oh, I was going to say as you were talking there, Jarvan did miss his flag, so that was the potential opportunity to start going in. Wow. Jarvan flashes in, and that's going to be the Cataclysm. But is he going to be able to go golden? No, he does not even have a stopwatch. He used that ult in Bane. Bullet time coming out from the MF. And Mordekaiser, after using his ult, gets a little bit low, but not to worry. The Tahm Kench is there to take the damage for you. Who went golden over there? Syndra once again. And it looks like the Tahm Kench isn't going to be falling this time. It's going to be the Rek'Sai? No, they're running circles around the red team. It looks like they're not. What the hell was that? Damn it, Sen? What?
Welcome to Senna!
Senna is a champion!
And Muramena. So much damage coming out from that champion.
Tahm Kench also uses stopwatch. Oh, Mordekaiser takes the opportunity to start pushing the top lane. Ornn does go back, but it looks like it's going to be a little, too little too late. It's going to be at the very least the middle core going down. Are they going to continue? It looks like they might as well, considering the cooldown timers. Or death timers,
rather. Have you seen the G2 game from LEC this Friday, when they played Mad Lion? Kept playing Senna against the Aphelios, instantly deleting it.
Oh yes, I did.
That's what just happened, but this time it was Dia's Q on the receiving end.
Yes, Panda the Imposter, this is the Diamond League. Speaking of which, by the way, Aphelios, I mean, I don't know if we're going to be able to see him in this tournament, but you need a PhD in Aphelios mechanics as well as League of Legends mechanics to actually do something.
Are you actually just reusing LEC jokes here?
Stop, I'm not stealing memes. They were always mine. I came up with them and I've made those accounts to write them, okay?
So, John Carlton Cage actually trying to ult the MTB over the wall, did lose vision. Oh, he actually managed to do it, so now he can't be stolen away.
John Carlton Cage, Galaxy Brain, actual Galaxy Brain being able to take out.
You cannot steal Baron if you're not in the same dimension. I like the way of thinking.
Can't steal Baron if you're not there, dude. Talk to me after. I might have to give you some RP for that. Get you a Mordekaiser skin or something. Wait, are there any good Mordekaiser? Wait, I don't have any RP. I mean, wait, does anyone in chat actually have RP? I mean, I've been playing this game for about a year now, a year and a half, and I have yet to spend anything premium.
You can try and wait for the new Darkstar Mordekaiser that's probably going to get released in the incoming couple of months.
I hope so. Oh, by the way, Jason, are you here?
I am always here.
You have a really fancy car, right? That must have cost you a lot. Are you trying to buy me some RP or what?
Okay, if you're looking for sugar daddy, maybe focus on the fight at hand.
Oh, yes, indeed. Joven just dies. He gets deleted immediately, and Galio does try to save him, but he's not able to. Meanwhile, towards the turrets, Rek'Sai is able to use his ult to take down another kill, and it looks like it's going to be a double kill for him. No, it's going to be a triple. That's probably game. Oh, no. Whoa! He goes golden, but that's not going to matter because Syndra has the perfect timing on that. And that's going to be game one.
Anti-magic Colossus and still getting melted by Kamen on the Syndra. It's yeah, it's a really feel sad man moment at that point. But even so, I still want to give my props or my thumbs up to LYVT there, or LYVT CE LYVT, because they finally managed to hit their combo with Jarvan ult into Galio ult onto Stolen Name, who in the previous attempts always managed to flash away, but this time she finally got caught, got taunted, and yeah, they managed to take Stolen Name out, and that's everything that happened in the end.
Yeah, I think. Oh wait, why? Oh my god, my score is trolling me. Anyways, yeah, I think that's a very interesting first game. It seemed to be a bit dominant from Roflan Esports here, coming in very strong and definitely taking that first win, well deserved at least. As I get removed from the lobby, so I can't even look at the stats. Oh, never mind, still works. There we go. Yeah, so if you look at stats right now, can everybody
Yes,
stop
we
texting
shall.
me, please? Thank you.
We're seeing the
Wait, let me text
dominant
you real quick.
Mordekaiser.
There you go.
I believe set is allowed Panda the Imposter.
Yes, everything is allowed right now. All the nerfs have come true according to Riot, so this patch right now is live with every champion available in this tournament. You can see Mordekaiser is just out damaging everybody here, and this was probably why they also won these games and these skirmishes early on. I saw Mordekaiser doing really well in lane as well as getting a lot of jungle attention.
I mean, at the same time, though, just going back to what we said in the beginning before this game started, Ornn just hasn't been doing too hot in general, and I know he's a good champion. Like he has what it takes, but despite the buffs coming in, it just looks like we're not finding what he's meant to be. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I completely understand your point. Like the issue this game, in my opinion, for the side of Roflan, not Roflan, but LYVT, is that they instantly noticed that the team comp, at least Roflan instantly noticed that the team comp drafted by LYVT was mostly composed around their ADC. So all they had to do is wait for the MTB on Jarvan to show up bot lane, and then Pan Kitty was just able to do everything he wanted on top lane because there was just no pressure from Jarvan there, because that wasn't the win condition they wanted to play around. So it's just a really nice observation, probably done in champion select and loading screen, and they managed to find a way to work around the enemy's plan, and that's how you win these kind of games.
Yeah.
Just a quick information here for the players that are participating in the tournament. Well, thank you for the follow. First of all, you got the mic. Great game, a great name. Yeah, if you are in our competition as a player and you want to break in between the best of three, it's always going to be best of three, boys. So there's at least one more game coming, at least. If Roflan Esports is stomping that one too, it's going to be a 2-0, and that's it. But if it's a best of three, you obviously want to break in between. You can have a break. You're allowed to have a break. Just make sure you're in the lobby. Everybody needs to be in lobby, all 5 members, so that on challenger mode, you don't get timed out and get a lose, because then we need to reset the game, which will take some attention from admins and other moderators. So just please make sure you're all in lobby and wait, and then you can agree to a pause of like 5 to 10 minutes, as if you would need it. Now, the next thing, I think game number 2 is on the way. I'm just going to check with the players as we hop into the next game, and maybe you guys can talk some more about the aftermath of this one.
Yeah, so I don't think both teams are going to have to do their homework, although it might be possible that blue team might be experimenting with a new composition. But I mean, there's a saying that goes, if something isn't broken, don't fix it. So do you think that blue team's draft could have been a little bit, or do you think that they'd be better off with something else?
Well, like, to quote Jankos, sometimes if you don't have a front line, you just have to run it down. But in this case, in this scenario, they had a Tom Kench and they had Mordekaiser. So I think it's a fairly well balanced team composition. You have the DPS coming out from Mordekaiser and maybe a little bit from Senna. Senna also having the supportive traits as an ADC. So being able to fulfill both of those roles makes it a bit easier on the Tom Kench to find targets that he doesn't necessarily need to peel for because the Senna can do it. And then in combination, like combine that form of a scaling team comp with a Rek'Sai who is known for her early game pressure, trying to get some leads to a couple of lanes. And then on the other side, we're just seeing I don't really want to call it a standard protect the AD carry composition, but the weakness in that composition is just that when your main carry dies, your win condition is gone. So maybe in that scenario, you want to choose on either mid or top lane a secondary carry who, in case of emergency, can either choose to split push. So when you're losing a team fight, you'll at least get some objectives out of it, or he can take over the damage aspect of the team fight, so that when your main carry dies, he can take it over from there. But in this scenario, they actually it felt like they've thrown everything on protect the ADC, keep our main carry alive, and they just didn't manage to keep their main carry alive. Mostly because of the damage spread on the other side, a Syndra threat, Mordekaiser ult threat, and of course Senna auto attacks, which aren't really auto attacks. So if Braum goes for his shield, the auto attacks will just go right through, just like with the wind wall. So yeah, that's maybe something to keep in mind.
To be fair, though, I don't think I've seen Senna be disrespectful in the sense that she steps too far out of line. I think that pretty much for the entire game, her positioning has been nigh perfect, if not perfect. So maybe they're just they just know that they can trust their ADC enough to not step up into the line. And on top of that, they red team, that would be LYVT, didn't have a great amount of engage. I mean, I know that we have the Galio ult, but somebody has to be there in the first place. And yes, Jarvan is there too, but we've come late game, we've seen him, just be blown up in a second or two, despite having the Cinder Hulk.
We've seen him fill his combo a couple of times, and that's also why it didn't really connect with the Galio ult combination. And I think
connecting esports.
no, true, but like 2 out of 3 times that they try to go for locking up the enemy ADC with the Jarvan Galio ultimate combo. Either the ADC, let's see who was it again, a stolen name got eaten by Lelouch Breton, or he flashed out of it, which managed to save his lives both of those 2 times. And then the final time that they did it and made it work, it was a little bit of overkill because they needed 2 champions to lock up stolen name, whilst John Carlton Cage, Triple Pen Kitty, and Cameron were just ending right behind them. So you're trying to pick a combo and having struggles to make it work, also because you're probably throwing way too much effort into the combo and not necessarily the team fights themselves. So that's maybe something to keep in mind when you're going for your next draft. But we'll see what's going to happen next.
Yeah, speaking of next draft, I think at least one of the teams is already ready. Roflan Esports ready and waiting for LYVT to show up. See LYVT here, just missing one member as we are about to get ready. I think we need the casters in as well.
Oh yeah, on my way. Can I get like a split second to get something to drink?
Of course, man.
Would love it.
Can I get some RP?
Of course not, man. Don't worry.
Damn it, dude. So damn
Anyways,
close.
thanks for following everybody. Sussex there, DJ
You're
Hurlet,
welcome.
and Panda the Imposter. Very appreciated, everybody. Where the casters?
Well,
That's a good question.
One of us is going to take a drink, and then the
No,
other
I
one.
think you need to make space for them.
Yeah, that's probably the thing, because it says the code is invalid, and that most of the time happens when
Yeah.
there's no space in the room for us to join.
There you go. That's
There we
number
go.
1.
So I'll be right back.
Yes.
For some reason, my code is not working over. Hang on, let me refresh. Oh, that's really annoying. I'm hearing double. That would explain a lot.
Okay, boys. Yeah.
Have I just forgotten where that code is?
You need the code, or?
Would be nice.
No
I still need
worries.
to learn how to
I
use
got
this
you.
thing. Thanks, dude. You have me with the code, but you don't have me with the RP. This is gonna be a running joke.
Well, it's either one, you know? I can't send you a message, holy shit. Discord's lagging. Oh, you're probably getting a million messages now. Okay.
No.
Oh,
I've 1, 2, 3.
yeah.
Testing.
Thank you for following, Reswick. Very appreciate it. We're about to hop into game number 2 of today, boys. It's going to be LYVT this time on the blue side, and on the red side we're going to have John Carlton Cage and his team. Obviously, it's going to be Roflan Esports. And of course, this is our first stream for the season 2, so show the streams and the teams that are playing some love in the chat, and make sure to also give me your prediction. Is this going to be a tight series, a 1-1? Is LYVT going to come back, or are we going to see a clean 2-0 from Roflan Esports in their first game?
By the way, just a question to chat, because I have a little bit of a bone to pick with this, but I'm going to probe it first. How have you guys been doing in your placements this? Because I don't know, man. I had 2 Soraka jungles in my games, exact same players.
That sounds like
And
fun.
then I crashed twice. To be honest, I was like, maybe this could work, barring the clear speed. I think that Soraka in 1v1s especially is really strong. So I was thinking maybe there is something here, but you'd have to be very smart. And I don't think we're going to be able to see it this season unless she gets a little bit more of a damage buff on her Q. She definitely isn't going to be able to wave clear anything with her E.
Yeah,
But I mean,
we see Pan and the Imposter as well in the chat going for a clean 2-0 prediction here, saying that the blue team, in this case it was Roflan Esports, was very composed and worked well together. So I can agree with that one. Seems like they had a clear game plan and executed it perfectly, or nearly perfectly.
But sometimes you just have a bad start.
Exactly.
You just need to re-pick up your mentality as a group and say like, okay, well this game was going a bit meh, but next game we'll take him on, and well, most of the times you'll still lose.
We just need
like,
Sussex to go to spectate, then we can start.
my bad.
There we go. With that being said, we should jump into the champion selection in just a second here. There we go. And I'll let you guys take this one away.
Weren't we going to use like the other program that you wanted to use? Or is it already in use?
Yeah, they just skipped the champion, the virtual draft. They went immediately for champion selection.
Okay, sure. That's fine by me.
Blue team used the Tom Kench before, and while it came in handy, they've decided to ban it out. So it looks like they are going to be trying a new strat this time, or maybe any support works. What they were trying to do.
Yeah, I think Tom Kench in this scenario was a little bit annoying for them to play against, constantly picking away that ADC from their combo win condition with the Jarvan Galio. So they're just going to be eliminating that Tom Kench saving threat from their vision.
You're scared. Good to know.
And kind of the same bends afterwards, just the Morgana, the Galio, the Akali, and the Cassiopeia.
Yeah. By the way,
only they were to ban Galio.
I don't know about that Cassiopeia and Akali. Like, going into Season 10, we've seen a lot of changes. First of all, just pointing at Cassiopeia, I feel like she also has the Ornn syndrome. I mean, I hate to only be using numbers. I've never played the champion before. But she was picked in LEC 4 times. She was picked in both the red team and the blue team. And she still lost all 4 games. But we still consider her a strong champion. And
I still want to say that one of those games was, if I remember correctly, a game from Schalke, and they actually managed to get a lead on the Cassio, but their losing condition was the fact that the Cassio was on on certain points of the game so full of himself that he was really strong and potentially was able to 1v5 that he just inted 2 times in a row and that just throw away the entire lead for his team. And yeah, getting caught out of position as the fat carry is not the thing you want to be doing in these kind of games.
Yeah, and then just to point another finger at Akali, I hope LS isn't in the chat because he's probably going to be probing me about how much better easy champions are to learn the game. But Akali was my first ever main. After I refunded Yasuo because I dashed into tower once and then I died by accident because I thought that my wind wall would block the tower shots. But anyway, that's
or before the Akali rework.
no, sorry.
Was it after or before the Akali
this
rework?
This was
Because-
just after the massive Akali.
Okay,
rework.
because
Yeah.
before the rework, she was kind of one of those easy champions with a lot of point and click and not really any skill shots.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I came into this game even before seeing any of the champions, thinking, I love ninjas. I'm gonna find the closest thing to a ninja.
And they are not
And-
playing Zed. They are playing Akali.
Oh, I saw Zed, and then I was like,
You were scared. It's too skillful. Too many shadows. What's going on? Sorry.
Oh
Zed
no!
is
I will
not a
always be
skillful champion.
overshadowed by Faker.
oh, I tell you. To be fair though, I did see Faker's Zed on that debut, and I was like, I want to get to that point, but at the same time, I'm a weeb, so I'm gonna pick up Akali. And then they
Thank
nerfed
you.
her ult. And then they nerfed her ult, right? So it's turned from perfect execution to, if I'm allowed to say this,
Okay, execution.
ridiculously crappy attempt at an execution. Her second ult now moves, I think, around about the same speed as a Nidalee Q, which is the slowest skill shot in the game.
We are talking about PvE patches right now, right? Because I think that they have reverted it already.
Oh, they've reverted it?
Yeah.
Oh!
There was also like the patch for her W that when CC'd she would be visible. That also has been reverted, and they're now trying to target just the first cast of her ultimate and the Q damage. But it's still PvE, so nothing is written in stone.
Yes, and it looks like they're going to decide to take the Braum away from Roflan Esports. I think Roflan Esports might have been. I think they were doing quite well with the Braum. A lot of the survivability that came out of them in the first game was just off of his shield, or should I say, massive vault door. I think that's what it is. But
Isn't
it looks
this
like they're
just
going
the
to steal
second
this.
time that Lift's playing Braum? The first time around, Roflan had Tom Kench.
Wasn't Braum on? Wait. So why did they ban Tom Kench? He wasn't a problem.
They banned Tom Kench away from Roflan. They switched side.
Okay, right.
No worries, no
I'm-
worries.
You
This
know,
is an
'cause I'm a-
awareness test. This is just an awareness test.
You're gonna hear that in game 3, by the way. I'm really ashamed that nobody in chat corrected me. I'm testing all of you.
I will wait for you to be better.
Looks like they're gonna keep the Senate as well, and all 5 bans have come out while we were talking. By the way, that's going to be a Camille, Elise, Mordekaiser, Cassiopeia, and Tom Kench against a forgotten her name, Morgana, Akali, J4, Olaf, and Lee Sin. I really want to see a Lee Sin in these tournaments. I mean, he makes a really good team comp, don't you think?
Fun fact: TSM played Listen.
They did. TSM played Lee Sin.
What?
How did that go, by
Was
the
it
way?
TSM or was it TSM Academy? Because
Both.
Yeah, both.
Both
I've
of
seen
them.
that single play from the jungler of
Yeah,
TSM Academy.
the academy
with the
player.
dragon
What's his
steel.
name?
Oh my god.
Oh, that was
Insane.
amazing. He went in, kicked out the Elise, stole the Drake, and
Yeah.
bam
and
bam,
got out.
Academy TSM is here.
Academy TSM. It was so much fun to watch that play happen. It's a little bit like the Mordekaiser play from last game, trying to ult the enemy jungler so he can't steal Baron. But this time it's just Elysian kicking you out of the pit, saying thank you for the leash.
Yeah, it really feels bad when you as a jungler initiate an objective, initiate a call, and then you end up getting it stolen away. Maybe because your team is not playing it perfectly, or the enemy jungler is just outsmarting you, like a Zac flying by with his E over the pit, smiting it. Like stuff
I
like
mean-
that has happened.
Yeah, but sometimes there are just the really stupid steals, right? Because I was playing Garen today, and I think you were hearing me screaming in comms as well because I was so mad about it. I was taking a Rift Herald and it was 423 HP. And I was 2 levels above my opponent laner who was a set. He comes in, unknowing that I'm actually on that Rift Herald, and manages, with his true damage, to kill it from 300 health. Should that be happening?
Sad things.
Welcome to
Sad
sad
things. I mean, I swear Riot does this just to me. I swear they do.
So, the complete comps have finally been locked in. We're seeing an entirely new form of composition on the side of LYVT, where they were just playing a Protect the ADC comp. They have kind of balanced it out with a lot of AP damage coming out from Ryze, Echo, and Syndra, and then Aphelios there to balance out the damage spread a little bit. And from the side of why is this thing always in the way?
Roflan Esports is on
Oh, yeah,
website.
of Roflan Esports.
Yeah.
Thank you for the name.
No worries. Got
I
you.
know it wasn't my fault.
I have them written up here, but sometimes I just forget to read, or like I just can't find it. So on the side of Roflan Esport, we're seeing once again a kind of a scaling composition, but in this scenario they have a Renekton instead of I think it's a bit of a replacement in comparison to the Rek'Sai. Last scenario we had a Rek'Sai for the early game, and the rest of the champs were all scaling champions. And now we're seeing a Renekton being more of an early game champion, and Karthus, Aurelia, and Senna being able to scale really nicely into this game, and hopefully being able to deal with this Aphelios Ryze late game threat, and Syndra having the delete button on her R key.
Once again, though, you do need a bit of a PhD to be playing Aphelios. So I'm actually really interested to see just how much effort DSQ has been putting into this champion, to make it work for him. But I don't know, I'm a little bit skeptical about the Karthus pick, should I say? Just because, I mean, he has an Irelia, right, into a Syndra. Both of them have picked Ignite. That means that for the majority of the game, unless he ganks, it looks like Roflan Esports isn't going to be having very much priority in the mid lane. And that also means that it puts a little bit of pressure on Renekton. I mean, sure, once he hits level 3, he should be able to stick to the Ryze quite well, even if he does have a phase rush. But in the mid lane and the top lane, Echo's just giving them a lot of kill pressure here. So do you think Karthus should have been changed for something else, or is it actually better that they picked something late game this time?
It really depends on the kind of playstyle you're going for. Like in this scenario, something you shouldn't underestimate with Aurelia is, of course, her level 8 is fairly shitty when you're in a ranged matchup. But the moment you hit level 2, you can try and go for an all-in engage, try and trade some HP away from your enemy, even though they do have the range advantage. And if you manage to make them low enough, they'll have to fear you for the entirety of laning phase until they take their first back. And then it's all coming down to, is my vision game good enough to see this Echo coming, yes or no? Because else you'll just turn into Caps in the World Championships finals from 2 years ago, which is not something you want to be happening towards yourself. And then, yeah, Karthus is just going to be farming up, really nicely scaling. I don't really think you necessarily want to switch him out for maybe a Rek'Sai, or what else kind of early game junglers do we have on the list that can still be picked? Probably Rek'Sai is still one of the more popular ones. Because picking Rek'Sai with this combination, you'll have 2 champions that kind of fall off in the late game, being Renekton and Rek'Sai. And now it's just your Renekton that can still be a decent meat shield late game. But yeah, you probably want a champion that can kind of deal better with this late game than otherwise.
Yeah. And with that being said, I think we're hitting the loading screen there. This loading screen is going down, so we will be jumping into that game very shortly. And yeah, as I had a discussion here with the chat as well, as you can see on stream, some people think the Karthus could have been something more aggressive, as you guys were just mentioning, but I feel like you have an aggressive Renekton on top lane into a Ryze that needs scaling, that needs item, and then you have in mid lane, you have 2 like very good champions. Like Aurelia counters Syndra ult, and then again Syndra counters a bit of the engage from Aurelia with her E. There's definitely outplay potential in the mid lane, and it's not like one-sided. And then on the bot lane, both ADCs just want to be scaling. And the longer this game actually scales, I feel like both teams have very good picks for that, and the only downside will be the Renekton just falling off and becoming a pure meat shield if he itemizes correctly. That being said,
Well,
we are on the
technically
Rift.
speaking, you're having like kind of two assassins on the side of Roflan, because you have the combination of Senna and Karthus who can not potentially one-shot someone, but two-shotting isn't really out of the question at this point. And Aphelios, we've seen him getting one-shot a couple of times this far.
Yeah.
And yeah. Looking at runes, by the way, anything out of the ordinary in your opinion?
I wouldn't say it's out of the ordinary, but it's definitely something that I can vibe with, right? So red team, Roflan Esports, ADC has taken a teleport. And we've seen that with her center, they prefer to play back for the vast majority of the game, right? You know, just to allow her to farm up, get the CS, and I wonder if their mid lane is also going to get perfect CS at this point. But anyway,
Live once again with that early 5 stack, just like they showed last game.
yes,
Just to
Invader
get that
took
early
me a little
vision
bit,
down.
but Renekton might see this, so it looks like this might not. Oh, he's seen this. It looks like they're just probably going to ward the red buff and then walk off. They don't really have to fight here, looking at their opportunities.
If
Yep.
they think that they're out of vision, they can try and steal the red buff, but not
I mean,
necessarily something you have to do.
they could, but there will be a trade somewhere now that they know about this. But as I was saying, Senna teleport, right? She's just going to be sitting back, chilling, farming in the bot lane. And whenever something does happen in the top lane, and mind you, that's probably going to happen a lot, considering that their top lane is a ranged champion. Once that Ryze gets a tier, he's going to be able to spam his EQ combo a lot more. He's going to be able to push up on the lane, meaning that he's going to be more susceptible to a gank. Now, if he wards up well enough, it does allow for the Senna to make that 2v1. That might be a little bit dangerous for the Renekton into a 2v2.
Yeah, completely.
And I really like that. I don't see that enough.
Well, you do have to play around it, of course, a little bit. Right now, both junglers, of course, playing around the fact that the opposite red buff has been stolen. And instantly are going for some more jungle attacks while they're at it. Because predicting your opponent moves is also a really important part of the job when you're playing in the jungle.
5 of the players so far have taken an inspiration, and they've also taken biscuit delivery. But if I recall correctly, in the early game, they kept all of the biscuits and then sold them all. Do you think that's some sort of new meta? I mean, let me just see. How much gold does it give? It gives 90. That's
25, right?
no 30.
30 okay, so
yeah.
90 gold total if you sell them, and you still increase your mana pool by like 5 or something per use. Or 15?
Yeah, that's not too far from a full wave. That's really interesting. I want to watch this. But anyway, that's going to be a dash in the top lane, and it looks like Renekton's going to go down for the first time. As we said, Echo's going to be having this kill pressure in the top lane, and Ryze is going to be there to lock him down when he needs to. Despite the ward being there as well, it looks like it didn't come in clutch.
Yeah, because the Echo came in from the Crux, which he also just counter jungled, and now he's going to look for a gank on the mid lane since Cameron just used all of his all-in abilities and has no movement left. It's probably what he's thinking about.
Irelia managed to make a pretty even trade with the Syndra, something that I didn't quite expect. Again, on an Irelia, we said that she would be a little bit weaker during the first few levels. But it's alright, we don't complain. Now both junglers are going to be going to either scuttle on the map and just trade over there.
Yeah, we're just seeing some regular laning phase. Not really a lot of action happening. Whilst I'm saying that, Diaz is just going to get poked a bit low. Same goes for Lelouch.
Oh, snipey! By the way,
Such a fun champion to play against.
if you can give me your credit card details, I will send about £20 over to the first person in chat or any one of our casters if you can name all 5 of Aphelios' items or weapons.
Are
Honestly.
you really going with this? Okay, so
Yeah,
there's
you're
Cameron.
Dude, no.
I actually only know 4 out of 5, so don't worry. I know Calibrum, Gravitrum,
Burnham
Infernum,
would make sense. Isn't it?
Chakram, and then there's the side pistol, which I forgot. But yeah.
Rise actually ends up taking a bit of a losing trade, I think. Well, a losing trade, as you might see from first hand, just because Renekton is going to be a little bit harder to peel off. On top of that, Rise does have a flash burn. It's going to be down for another 2.5 minutes. So you don't want to be caught out with that while Renekton still has his dash up.
So it looks like the MTB is looking to assist Ziki here whenever John Carlton thinks of something funny. And the same thing goes for Triple Pen Kitty in case John Carlton is going to get engaged on in the incoming 8 seconds. But the moment his recall is done, it looks like there's going to be a fight against with John Carlton in the top lane. Forcing the flash from this cute little crocodile toy. Yeah.
Yep, not using the flash the first time, and John Carlton Cage has learnt his lesson. Looks like it's going to be a massive wave pushing in, though, and this could be a potential dive. But remember, Senna does have her teleport, so this might be what they came for. Oh, never mind. Rise does not have any mana to follow up with that. So,
I have no mana. Oh, it looks like there's a pulse coming up from some lag on the side of Lelouch Britain.
yep. Well, as soon as we figure out what's going on, we will tell you. And hopefully we can get the games running as per normal. But I want to, really quickly, I want to talk about the mid lane development, right? Because we've been saying that Irelia is going to be a little bit worse for wear against the Senna. Not Senna, Syndra, same thing. Don't
Same
me,
difference.
chat. Same difference, whatever. And Senna, I'm gonna cry. Syndra has now bought 2 Doran's rings, and we know that you normally get more than 1 Doran's item if you choose to pressure the early game a little bit more. It's a lot more cost effective. But at the same time, Irelia has been able to keep up in trades. She's been able to keep up in CS, which is pretty impressive. And she's managed to buy herself a Mercury's treads in order to make those trades a little bit better, to make the ganks a little bit harder for LYVT. And I
like with the tenacity from the Merc threats, it also just saves you a little bit of time in trying to get your coffee while being CC'd, you know? Being able to play the game earlier again. So it looks like the MTB is going it's going to be a little late on the dragon check, and the first dragon is going to be picked up by Triple Pen Kitty, which is going to be delivering a really nice HP buff when out of combat, or like HP buff, HP regen out of combat to his team whenever they feel like it. Most of the time after a potentially bad trade.
Speaking of which, by the way, it's the 7-minute mark, so it's still pretty early days, right, into the game. Ocean Drake heals for 2.5% of your missing health every 5 seconds.
Well, John Gardner's thinking different of this early game. Instantly taking a trade there doesn't necessarily get punished too hard.
Exactly. So I think, back to the question that we asked earlier on, it might actually be worth
do it, but
you probably don't want to give up in the early game if you can take it. Ooh, Renekton's taking quite a punch, and he's now going to have to go back. Does he have a water put down before he backs? Oh wait, no, never mind. There is the honey fruit when you need it most, taking up about 50% of his health, and he's probably going to be heading back to the top lane. Yes.
Some really nice balanced RNG right there. Honey fruit. And it looks like Ziggy is also slowly depleting his mana pool. So the next trade that's going to be coming out, like I know that Rise has overall a gigantic mana pool, so it looks like he's almost
Irelia into the ult. Is Syndra gonna live? No, that's what I like to call a perfect execution.
Double flash commit.
Every single ability hit. Every single one. Nothing wasted.
Look at John just zoning Zeki away with that immense wave. And in the meantime, we're seeing MTB trying to help out his bot lane. Going to be using the parallel.
Oh, Carthus! No Senna. Oh wait, Senna's not on your team. It's Syndra. I'm actually gonna uninstall this game. I swear. I've
worry
uninstalled
about
this game
it,
like
man.
4 times
With
already.
that
I
being
don't know
said,
if
we're
anyone
gonna
else
put
is
Sussex onto the bench. Goodbye, Sussex. I'm gonna take. No, I'm joking.
I
I
just
thought you're
called
being-
Echo's Chrono Break parallel convergence, which is his W, so don't worry about it.
You have that kind of voice where I have to take you seriously. You know what I mean, Jason?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
your
boss
sarcasm
talking here.
is
Boss telling
100%.
you to please focus and don't miss this. That Senna is on the right side team, please. Don't fuck this up. Thank you very much. Bye.
Don't say the F word on stream, Jason.
Fuck.
That'll get us banned.
Did I say the fuck word again? Fuck. Oh no, I did it again. Fuck. I can't
Oh
stop.
no,
Fuck. Sorry.
we're gonna have to put Jason on the bench.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
so-
bench. Bye.
Finn, help us!
Abusive caster.
Our
Oh
streamer
my
is
God.
ruining our good reputation.
I mean,
So,
we're doing better than certain other
going
people.
back to the game and going into itemization, seeing a fairly standard for an AP matchup, Wits and Rush on the Aurelia coming out. Negatron Cloak already there, really close to completing that recurve bow.
Not too bad, right?
Also
That's
taking
gonna be
it straight
another
into
one with
the
Irelia's
zone.
passive up, and she's gonna chase Syndra into the tower, but no. Nothing gonna come out yet.
Same time as the Renekton is finding a fight with this Rise. No one really coming out on top there. And right now it's mostly Aurelia just waiting for that Vanguard's edge to get off cooldown, so he can try to full engage on this Syndra.
Unfortunate attempt for a gank in the mid lane. Could have worked, but unfortunately for the MTB, am I really gonna make this joke? Yes, I am. Irelia heard your echoes of the. Oof, spicy.
So
we
with
gonna
that
mute
said,
one?
thank you for watching the stream. It has been a pleasure. John
I'm
Cotton
here,
is
I'm
also
here,
trying
Tom,
to end
don't
it
worry.
all here with Zeki. Zeki actually having to force flash
No.
there when John Cotton all in. And it looks like Triple Pen Kitty is also here to help out this top laner. And then the camera instantly flashes back to show us that DSQ can hit his Calibrum shots and throw some chakras from close to global range into the face of Lelouch.
This blue team is having a really, really difficult time warding. I think probably the only reason Rise died was because.
Uh-oh, but I stole a
he didn't
lane
know
there. Ooh. She overstepped
Oh
a little
my
bit, but
God.
with a form of miscommunication there, with the CC from the Braum, Calibrum not going to hit, but instantly John Carlton getting caught up in this entire team fight.
Oh, there's gonna be a turnaround!
MTB. That doesn't look like they're going to do anything. Cameron right here.
Oh, wait, what?
Cameron is also going to be joining the fight, and his Vanguard's edge is off cooldown. So is he going to be able to do something with it?
Everybody's made of gold. Karthus ult comes out, and it looks like
but
Irelia is
almost
here to
everyone
join the
gets hit by the
fray.
Vanguard's edge.
Syndra once again coming in the clutch. That's going to be an amazing
But
positioning
look at the
placement for the
Aurelia
AD.
cleanup.
What just happened?
Well, let me
There
tell
was
you.
a
dude.
lot of stuff happening.
Let me tell you. Irelia got a kill, and then she decided to get them a double. She put the cheese, that's a triple, and oh my quad, it could nearly have been a penta.
Better nerf Aurelia.
Wait, did you get the joke? Oh my quad.
If we're
With double?
if we're going with old memes, I just say better nerf Aurelia at this point.
Okay, that's probably a better meme than what I made. Anyway, it looks like Dragon's going to be taken a second time for the red team. They're really good with their objective control.
Triple Pen Kitty is just showing off that he knows exactly when to pressure which objective. Except for the one Cloud Dragon that they missed last game, but you know, we can see through that.
Yeah, Kitty, are you trying to coach me or what?
You can ask him. If he
Wait,
wants
really?
to.
Oh, dude. I'm so up for that. Anyway, looks like we're going to be a little bit quieter on
Yeah.
Summoner's Rift now. It's only the Rift Herald up, and while we did see the Rift Herald make quite an impact, the blue team is starting to scale just a little bit,
We're also
so...
seeing out a rotation from Lursman towards his Renekton.
Oh yeah, but it doesn't look like they're going to find anything too soon. Irelia knows that her mid lane is missing.
Yeah, what they don't know is that there's actually a deep pink ward behind them. And then I'm talking about LYVT with Lursman and Echo just circling around that one deep pink ward in their jungle.
Karthus is smelling a little bit hungry.
It's Division 1, of
Pink ward.
course.
It was only last week that I realized why people called it pink wards. Because again, I only joined this game like a year ago.
It used to be a pink ward.
It used to be pink, and then they turned it red. What the hell? Red ward, trinket.
It's a
Damn
good
it, dude.
ward. Yeah, fair enough.
Looks like Karthus might be smelling
Oh,
blood. We've seen him try to
there's
back.
actually found
That was a
instantly
little bit of a.
all the things that the MTV wants to take it.
Yeah, that was a bit of a spam laugh from the Syndra that I'm gonna point out. Wait, is it Syndra? Yeah, it is Syndra this time. Clap. I pat my back on that one.
Now it's a Rift that's being the priority for Triple Pen Kitty. Because his objective game thus far is one of the strongest I've seen in
Yeah.
this one. Lurstad
Especially
already preparing for his combo.
Oh, Syndra, it's definitely not going to be enough. You're fighting a 2v1, my friend. Then an ult comes in, and that is going to be a 1v3 for Roflan Esports.
Yeah, so at this point, it feels like as a Syndra, you're forgetting that you have prepared yourself well, but all you have is Magic Pen Boots against an Aurelia that has most of her items built into Magic Resist. Yeah, you're not going to be dealing a lot of damage to that.
That's a Wit's End. Wit's End. I mean, I kind of struggle sometimes when deciding whether to pick that item up, because as much as I like Lifesteal and Magic Resist, I always feel like there's something better, or something that does more damage, or something that just feels right to me. So why pick Wit's End over anything else?
Well, in this scenario, it's just a counter item. It's just to counter out the burst damage from Syndra, whilst also supplying yourself at the same time with some DPS and some healing when getting low. In some trades it's necessary, because when you get prematurely R'd by a Syndra and not instantly die afterwards, you probably want to use that lifesteal to get at least a little bit more healthy. Well, lifesteal is just some free on-hit HP regen you're getting, or like HP you're getting back.
Cool dash for Flash in the top lane. That's going to be another 5-minute cooldown. Rise might be a little bit worse for wear this time, as his ult is only halfway off of the cooldown, and he's only got one ward on his backside Tribrush, so it looks like Karthus might be planning to path to the top lane, especially since there aren't any objectives just yet on the map.
Yeah. So it looks like there's going to be a small trade here against John Card and Kate. Triple Pen Kitty getting spotted out by by Ziggy there whilst throwing out down the Rift Herald. And it looks like they're going to try and do something with that Herald and dive in Ziggy if he doesn't back off.
That tower's gone. Their jungler's in the bot side jungle. Karthus has a Herald. Rise doesn't have Flash. His ult's not up. That was pretty telegraphed from the beginning, to be honest. And it's going to have a little bit more effect, slamming it into the second tower as well. But that's all they're going to take for now.
Yeah, and like the rest of the lanes are just trying to farm up a bit, trying to scale a bit harder. So if we want something to talk about right now, maybe it's the choice in runes, even though it's maybe a little bit late to start going over runes, since the start game already was 17 minutes ago. But John Cotton Cage prioritizing Conqueror over Press the Attack, just so he has a little bit more late game impact. Really nice choice from him there. Press the Attack can be really useful in the early game, but it will fall off in value so much after 10 minutes. So he will probably be able to do a little bit more than he'd be able to do with the attack. And look at this Vanguard.
Oh, the Hail of Blades. The Hail of Blades comes down, and oh goodness me, Karthus wasn't able to save Irelia just in time to spike the...
That's a lot of damage. Karthus pressing his known R button. It is feared among many regions.
I'm going to blame that on the fully stacked Dark Seal that Karthus has right now. I didn't see
the
that.
Dark Seal. Think of the damage he could be dealing when having a Soul Stealer.
No,
or
I
is it
don't
a banned
think
item?
about the damage he could be dealing.
Is it too much BM if you build like Soul Stealer in these kind of matches?
That's definitely something I want to see, to be honest. To be fair, it probably wouldn't set him too far behind. But anyway, blue team LYVT still does have a bit of a scaling comp, so it's not all she wrote just yet. Rise is trying to take the top tower. It doesn't look like he's going to get it because Renekton is teleporting. Is Renekton going to try and take this opportunity to go? Yes, he is. That's going to be a stun. And an ult. That's all he wanted.
It kind of feels like Ziki just denied himself a kill by ulting himself away, because he actually connected the last Q, and John Cotton Cage is really low right now. But it also looks like Cameron and Kitty are looking for something on this top lane. So Ziki smells it and is instantly going to run away.
Well, again, none of the objectives are up on the map, but it does look like the red team is starting to pick up their game a little bit more on the wards. We have a control ward right in the middle of the Drake, so they're going to be making a play there, definitely.
I now remember the pistol from Aphelios is called Severum, so that's all 5.
I'm not giving you £20 for that, dude.
I know. And there's the Calibrum into Gravitron combination. It's not going to be enough to lock up Cameron, or is it though?
Oh, Ionia calls, and when Ionia calls, so does Senna's ult. Unfortunately, Irelia does have to go down. It looks like she was taking a little bit too much of a bite for what she could eat. Not to worry though, she has a Triforce, she has a Wit's End. She's definitely going to be making it back, still strong onto Summoner's Rift. The rest of the team is going to help her out.
But they were sent to Aurelia's voicemail.
Dude.
Isn't that no? Okay. Fair
We're
enough.
gonna have to put this caster on the bench, guys. We will see you.
So Stolen Aim is on the mid lane right now, trying to do some poke battles with Lursman.
Unfortunately, that's just not going to be possible anymore. 1-3-2 Syndra versus 8-2 for Senna. Yes, like.
The difference between this game and last game is that Stolen Name last game managed to get his Mirror Mana stacked around this time, and he doesn't have it stacked in this scenario. So he could be dealing a little bit more damage than he is dealing right now.
Yes, but at the same time, I think LYVT. Oh, looks like it's going to be a 1v2, but should we really worry because it is a Renekton and
Alton should pop the Dominus right there, because else he is not going to be making it out alive there. So Triple Pen Kitty there for the assistance, and the rest of their team instantly following up, which forces the decision on the side of MTB to be made that they have to back off.
21 minutes into the game, we have 3 different Drakes on the red team, Roflan Esports, and it looks like they're trying to set up around the Baron now with a... Oh, what's going on here?
Just a small trade.
Nothing.
Trying to scare away your opponent.
As I was saying, once again, we're going to be seeing just how well Roflan Esports is able to exacerbate what right now is a 4K gold lead and turn it into the explosive power that they were able to turn it into in game 1.
Are you seeing these Rise mechanics? And it looks like they're going to be ganging up on John Carl and Cage. Is he going to
Renekton's pinched and he has no ult.
Alive? There's the redemption. Is it going to be in time? It looks like it for now. And it also forces down the Chrono Break from MTB to get out of there. Just to be safe.
Not even close, says the Cage. He gets out with his life and his flash, which might be meaningful later.
Cameron is just in really deep right now, and it doesn't like he cares.
I'm surprised we don't have any wards again on the Baron. I guess that's because red team's trying to focus this Drake once again. I mean, it is going to be a Dragon Soul, and as we argued before the game started, Dragon Soul might be better than Baron. Especially 22 minutes into the game, it's going to be pretty huge in enabling them to secure that Baron, actually.
So Cameron once again really far down the enemy jungle. And if there was any form of attention being paid to that, I think that they could have like 5 or 4-man collapsed on him and then forced break afterwards.
So, ring of roses, pocket full of poses, a tissue, and the blue team puts wards down. Most of them being controlled, but it looks like they might be taken out again. It's quite arguable right now that red team is stronger than the blue team, even in a 4v5. Never mind, because Karthus was poked and it looks like the blue team has taken their opportunity to go in. Renekton tries, but he's not able to get anything there. Karthus also goes down. Is his passive going to do anything? No, but he does ult. That might be meaningful later.
It looks like that ult did a little bit more than expected, and the passive, and it's Cameron now on the chase for a cleanup. Oh, and it's actually going to be hitting the blade walls!
That is...
You know,
wait. He's dead, right?
Aphelios.
Yeah, okay.
That's Aphelios for you. There's still a quadra kill for Cameron, but that Infernum tower saved his life for a moment.
Can I get an oh my quadra in chat?
Oh my quadra.
Oh my quad. Yes,
and it's Mountain Soul getting secured.
That's going to be a little bit extra mana, meaning that they're going to take much more effective fights around this Baron now. So they're definitely now in the position to take the game into their hands, despite only taking 2 towers right now.
Well, you do have a bit of time on your hands whilst the enemy team is respawning and your own team is respawning for getting some vision out. But Lelouch having no wards left in his support item, and Stolen Name trying to greed a little bit for that tower, even though their team is pinging them back. Is going to make sure that the wards aren't there yet, but are in progress of getting picked up at the shop.
Irelia has more CS once. I might need to get coaching from every one of these players in the hopes that I can go pro one of these days, you know?
It's not just Aurelia that's outfarming the lane opponent in the ranged versus melee matchup. The same thing goes for Renekton against the Ryze, which is a surprise to me since they're both like 1-3 and 0-3 correspondingly.
Renekton was the answer to Ryze though, as we did see in picks and bans. It was picked second. So he's definitely doing exactly what he thought should have been, which is really good to see. Everything going to plan. Nothing too big happening around Baron as we reach the 25-26 minute mark. Everyone's just farming the jungle, trying to get what levels they can before the fight that can once again make or break the game. And it looks like Echo decides to go in, look for a stun, but no, he cannot find it. And in return, he's going to take a little bit too much.
That's a lot of damage coming out from just auto attacks on Senna. But you know, it's still Senna. So she gets crit, she gets lethality, and she gets mirror mana with just a lot of damage in that combination.
Meanwhile, in the
are just fighting it out. They have teleport ready whenever it's necessary for that Baron fight, so they shouldn't worry too much about what they're doing there.
However, it's definitely going to be looking like a game of chicken. I mean, as we know, Renekton can stun Ryze out of a teleport, but Ryze can't stun Renekton. Maybe he knows this, and if he does, I would really like to see that play turn out. Because that would have been another Galaxy Brain, as we saw last game when Mordekaiser pulled the jungler away from the Baron. That was pretty hard. I hope someone clipped that, by the way, because I need to save that.
You have a stun on the Renekton side, you have a snare on the right side. Works. Both scenarios works. MTB is just going to clear some vision, because it doesn't really look like there's anything happening. But the bomb from Lelouch is chipping away some damage with some help from Baron on MTB.
I wonder if there's a reason, by the way, as to why after about 10 minutes, nearly 10 minutes, Karthus hasn't upgraded his dark. Isn't it time? I mean, it doesn't seem like he's in too much of a threat.
Well, like, in a way, Dark Seal early game is a really good pickup because it also extends potion healing, and since most junglers these days run refillable potion, it's just a really valuable item. And if you manage to get a decent snowball the early game, it also gives some nice bonus stats, but it's not necessarily to pick up Soul Stealer in this build. And at the same time, you're playing Karthus, it doesn't really matter if you die, so sometimes it's better to take a death and use your passive, and you don't want to lose all the stacks at that point.
Echo did use his ult, by the way, and that's going to be a Karthus dying. Oh my goodness, he's lost 4 stacks of that.
Doesn't matter, can still press.
Oh no, he's taken 3. Fortunately, the red team have decided to turn it, and Irelia is going to take another kill. She is carrying her team here, and their top laner goes golden, but it is definitely not going to be enough. Are they going to take the Baron? It looks like not, because they can take all the towers instead.
Yeah, if you can take an inhibitor and after that pressure Baron, it has way more value because at that point you're giving the enemy team a choice. Are you going to be defending your base from super minions or are you going to be contesting us at Baron and let 1 or 2 Nexus turrets fall depending on how long you're trying to keep us busy at Baron? So that's most of the time a really difficult choice to make. A lot of people will probably go for defending the base, but you will give a Baron with that decision. So it's a really nice split or like dilemma to give to your enemy.
It is, but I think what really, I think what really made that was the early Echo ult, right? I mean, he used that before the team fight even happened. At that point, he had no escape. It's either he goes in and dies, or he doesn't go in and loses the Baron anyway. Do you think that was a misplay, or do you think it was forced?
It felt like it was a bit forced, but like on the other side, we were talking about Cartus, right? Because being forced in your passive is probably one of the better scenarios for a champion like that. Because when you're in passive as Cartus, you can press R without getting interrupted by any means, which is the best way to cast your ultimate. If you cast it when you're still alive and there's a possibility of being interrupted, that's not what you want to be looking for.
Things trying to happen inside the jungle, but nothing too much. Irelia might be seeing an opportunity here as Echo did miss his flash. And he ulted right back into the enemy team. What is going on? Red team tries to pursue, but it looks like they're not going to be going to the Echo. They have other intentions instead.
Cameron is dealing so much damage on that backline and also feels so tanky at the same time with all those items completed. Just melting through the backline with that Vanguard's Edge, jumping with the Q from target to target. And now it's just John Carlin chasing MTB, so he's not...
John Carlin cage in hot pursuit. He's not going to be able to get it, unfortunately. Oh, he's still trying, though. He might be able to. He missed his dash.
He is going super deep.
Anymore?
Well, with like a 20-second respawn timer on 3 champions on the side of LYVT, I feel like the decision is now being made to run it down the mid lane. And they should be able to finish it before any
this
of
is
the
looking like a slow sweep right now.
now.
Unfortunately, the blue team didn't get enough gold to make any of their next buys that meaningful. So yes, this is going to be a 2-0 sweep for Roflan Esports. Well done, LYVT. You tried your best, and you definitely did look better and more cohesive this time. But unfortunately, I just think you met your matches.
Yeah, the bot lane matchup went way more in the favor of LYVT this time, looking at this, yes. But the safety from Stolen Name, just knowing how to position properly in every single team fight and in lane, making it for the perfect KD on ADC, really nice to see. And yeah, I think once again it was Triple Pen Kitty with his insane objective pressure was able to give his team the win in this scenario. Also, Ryze finishing Zhonya's before Archangel can be a little bit, yeah, awkward.
Sorry, I muted myself for a second.
Oh, no problem.
Ah.
It's just that seeing a Ryze with Roll of Ages, which it's most of the time the first item that gets completed after buying Tear. Prioritizing Zhonya's because you're in a Renekton matchup and are also fairly afraid of Aurelia, which is normal to be when she's 11-3. But even so, a shield from a fully stacked Archangels can also save your life in those instances, and it also just gives you so much more AP when finishing that item.
And maybe no, sorry, finish your sentence. Sorry, man.
No. Go on,
Yeah.
Jason. Huh?
Maybe we should think back to all the people that doubted the Cartus pick in the jungle. I defended it, saying that the Cartus. No, I'm talking to chat, yeah. Because there was a few.
I also defended the Cartus pick.
Yeah, because as you can see now, Cartus is obviously doing the most damage, and him dying in teamfight is not even a big deal because.
Super logical. Like on Cartus, you have an ability, you press R, it damages everyone by default unless they use Zhonya. So
Yeah.
I think if you don't have most damage in the game as a Karthus, then there's something wrong. Unless you're playing with a Heimerdinger or Ezreal.
Yeah, let's say if as a Karthus you get nicely into mid game before dying too much, you got at least 1 or 2 items, you have a great potential to just press R and make your team win the team fight, or basically force the enemy off an objective. So that's the power of Karthus. That's why we see this Drake control and Baron control, and in the end always them winning the team fights, even if they go down 2 members in the early stages of the skirmishes. He just presses R, comeback time, really picks up the left kills with the Sen ultimate, and yeah, I really think they executed it perfectly, and that means Roflan Esports went 2-0 in this exchange. LYVT not having the best of time in their debut, but we will see if it will be going better in the future. Of course, only our first game of many to come. I hope you all will join us in the future for the next upcoming games. We see QVX in the chat, Quantum Vortex here, pointing out that they played Evelyn. I would have loved to see that, so maybe next week we'll see an Evelyn, and if not, we might be seeing some other amazing plays like today. Yeah, maybe we do an interview. For those of you who have to leave, of course, Sussex, you're free to leave already. I can take over for you, man. Don't worry.
That would be nice. Thank you very much. It was really good casting for you guys. We had some really active people and some really good people to talk to in the chat. I hope to see you guys on Thursday. Even though I'm not casting, then I will definitely be there to pretty much just have some fun with you. You can definitely expect me.
Okay. Well, see you. Thank you for joining us today, man. And with that being said, we shall be heading over to a little bit of an interview. If you want to be interviewed, so how it works here in Connecting Esports streams, if you want to be interviewed, you'll scroll down on the Discord channel. You see that amazing streamer lounge. You join the waiting room, and then Dermot and me will interrogate you as if you have committed a crime until we have enough information about the games and our chat is satisfied.
We will just do one person, right?
Yeah,
Not
of
going
course.
to be
No, we
interviewing
do
like-
one
like-
person.
like,
we
every
keep
single
the
player.
we keep the 5 people and the multiple interviewees for like our final semifinals. Hello, I am here. Move me fast. Yeah, well, I would love somebody from the people that just played, but thank you for joining.
The actual
Quantum
games
Fast.
we just casted. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So Roflan Esports, if you're in the chat, make sure to send at least one person over. If not, I will pick somebody and book them until they come.
Yeah, or not. Then there's just no interview. I can kind of live with that in a way, but
Oi.
so speak up, or lose the power to speak.
Wow, very undemocratic.
Yeah.
Okay, I asked them in the chat. Let's see if they respond. As I can see, also one of them is streaming on Twitch. So how about I open his Twitch and I ask him there? Oh, he just went offline. That's sad. He's bad. If you've moved offline from this one, please move me. LD is ready. Perfect. Just need LD to come to the waiting room. And we can have a little bit of an interview. So, Dermot, what do you think after seeing this performance? You think we're gonna have some exciting games and dominant? Oh, never mind. He just joined the chat. We keep that thought for later.
No, sure.
Hello, man. Welcome to the streamer lounge. Hi.
It sounds like a little bit of a sad intro there, but hello there.
He's like,
LD.
I'm forced by my team to speak. I'm sorry.
Those games just was kinda mess, I guess.
Yeah.
So who
Sorry, I'm
are
a
we
bit tired.
actually speaking to in this scenario? Because I have no clue.
LD
Well,
was.
Was from
I was top laner from
John
Roflan
Carlton Cage,
Esports.
right?
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
he's the Renekton and Mordekaiser.
Yes,
girl.
yes.
Yeah.
Your Mordekaiser game was
Nice
really
thing.
strong. Well, first of all, as always, congratulations on your win to you and your team. Played very well, well deserved. So we might have like 1 or 2 questions here. If the chat wants to join, post the questions in chat right now. We will answer them and forward them to the team. So speaking for your team, man, like the first question will be, we're seeing that, well, let's immediately jump to the second game. Seeing that draft, you picked a very interesting draft with you being the only guy that falls off late game with this Renekton, but then you opted into a very defensive build. Were you aware that late game you just needed to be that threat in the backline, not unkillable, or why didn't you choose a more aggressive build in where you could have maybe 1v1 the Ryze in the side lane?
Actually, there is no point to do a Ryze in this game, because the role that I had is just to be like beefy front laner and take as much damage as possible, I guess.
Yeah, okay. Some troll questions here, maybe to lighten up your mood. We see Wavy asking in the chat, does he got a girlfriend? Do you have a girlfriend? Do you want to give us this information?
You're not going to be asking every single question the chat
Hell
has
yes,
sent.
I'm going to do that.
Oh my god.
I don't really get it. Please repeat.
Do you have a girlfriend is the question, or a boyfriend?
I guess kinda, yeah.
Okay, he says kinda.
It's just friends with benefits, you know.
There we go.
Let's move on from this question.
Anyways, next question is how tall are you? Extremely related to
don't
the
do
game.
this,
Let me
James.
do this. This is fun. Come on, man.
174.
174. There we go. Semi-tall person here joining us in the top lane. And then LD, can you duo queue me? Is the question from Crisco? So hit up Content Vortex if you need some duo queue partners. And Garnix is actually asking, so how can you get a better mid laner? Do you have issues with your mid laner?
What do you mean?
Well, chat is suggesting that you need a better mid lane. I
Jesus,
think I'm sorry. No, I
Our-
think
our-
Avalade played really
Our
well.
mid laner is a fucking beast.
Yeah, I have to agree. After seeing his performance on Aurelia, I think he played really, really well. And yeah,
But
so-
this really sucks.
yes. Okay.
So like, except for like my co-caster who already left, Serzax, I sometimes have difficulties pronouncing his name, but he actually wanted to ask your jungler if you could teach him some of the tips and tricks he used there in his total objective control. Is that maybe possible for him?
Actually, there is no tricks or something. It's just about purely shot calling process and giving information to your teammates. That's it.
Okay.
So in this case, we can
It's more of a team
make
effort than him just doing it all by himself. Is what you want to say with that?
kinda, yeah.
Well, like in the end, it's a team game after all. So the game
Yes,
is supposed to be decided as a
actually,
team.
you giving info to other teammates, and you as a team make some decisions. So
Okay, maybe a question here. What do you guys use? Which language do you use to communicate in your team? All of you together.
what do you mean?
In which language do you speak when you are playing the game?
Mostly Russian.
All of you guys speak Russian. Okay, interesting.
Yes.
Anything else that we want to be asking here? Maybe one very important question. Do you think as Roflan Esports you have the needed skill and mental strength to win this competition? I know you just played against one team, but are you like, do you think you are able to win the whole competition, like to get to the finals and take the finals? Is that something you were trying to do?
I don't really know about other group, so I cannot really tell much about it, about other teammates. So as long as we have coach and he's kind of I don't know advices to our team, so we can adapt to everything, I guess. So yeah, I guess we can pretend to be top something.
Don't worry, man. We don't judge you on your English. We're happy for you being here.
Did you guys actually prepare for it today when it comes to researching the enemy team, or did you just come up with something on the spot? Like, okay,
we're
this
just
is the team
using
we're playing against
some
today.
we're just using some strategies that we've trained earlier. So,
but it's not necessarily applied because you were playing this team. It's just a general tactic that you guys have practiced.
Yeah. So we can basically in this current meta, I guess we can adapt to everything. So
Yeah, because
almost everything.
I felt like you guys were really quick with noticing what your enemies were going to draft in the first
Uh,
game.
in the first game, I guess there's there was a huge, really huge mistake when he when they blind picked Orn. So you cannot do that. That's why we won first game. So we hardly punished this Orn. So
Okay, yeah, fair enough. I
Mhm.
think that's the thing that Series X was also trying to say at the start of the games when with the LEC win rate of Ornn only being at a fair 20%. That's probably because Ornn is mostly a pick that's been being picked in the first 3 picks, which gives an opportunity for counter picking, which in this scenario we've seen
but
going.
I don't really wanna blame other top laner, but he played really bad and he didn't really know how to play this matchup at all.
The Ornn Mordekaiser matchup is what you're meaning to say, right?
Or Mordekaiser, yeah.
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 Yeah, because looking at just average statistics from solo queue, maybe in this scenario, Ornn does actually have a positive win rate against Mordekaiser, but is it necessarily because of his lane trading pattern, or?
No, not really. Orn Orn has better I don't know team synergy, I guess.
Yeah,
So he
because
can
he just gives out 3 stats with his passive, and the
yeah
combination of being this really
it's
beefy front line dealing AoE damage with the combination
yeah
Sunfire
yeah
Abyssal Mask.
but most important thing that he can engage from really long distance. So in this case, he is better than Mordekaiser. But in the laning phase and on the side lanes, he cannot really do much to Mordekaiser. But he can resist to him. Not really. Orn does not have a kill pressure against Mordekaiser, but he can resist against his kit. So.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's enough. We tortured you enough here with all these questions. Thank you very much for joining
All
us.
these random questions.
Thanks for asking.
Yeah, no problem. I hope to
Well,
see you guys on Steam again soon. Yes.
As a really last question,
Oh,
Turin, is
okay.
there any form of message you want to give to the other teams in your group that they have to fear you or
Anything you want to
whatever?
say to the stream,
Anything
to the enemy?
you
Thanks,
want to say
guys.
to all the
Okay,
other
okay,
competitors?
yeah. Thank you guys for watching, and we hope we will beat every team
Okay.
this tournament. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I hope to see that on Steam. Thank you for joining us, man. Was a pleasure. Hope to see you again soon. And with that being said, boys and girls on stream, I hope you had an amazing time.
Everyone's gender.
Yes, I assumed everybody's joined. I hope you had an amazing time casting and not casting, sorry, watching us cast and watching us see these guys play on stream. Of course, Roflan Esports here going a clean 2-0 in the first week, and we will probably see them again in the future, as well as the other groups. There's 2 groups right now in the TG Diamond League. Make sure to check them out in the Challenger Mode space. It's challengermode.com/s/connecting esports if you are interested in watching, looking it up. And for everything else, make sure to follow us on our socials, all on your stream right now. And yeah, with that being said, boys, I think we're just gonna head off, and we'll see you guys very soon, maybe on Thursday already, with maybe another caster duo, but I'm for sure going to be there. And yeah, thank you, Dermot, for joining me today. Had a pleasure.
No problem. It was really nice working with you, as always.
And with that being said, boys, thanks for watching. Heading out. See you guys soon.